There's some people that have higher paying jobs. They cannot even say 50 pence. They cannot say 50 what? 50p. Have mercy. Not all blacks are broke. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about why black people are broke. Let's go. I don't know what inspired this video, but I just wanted to talk about it. One of the reasons as to why black people are broke, this might shock people watching this, is that we are too generous. You'd be like, yeah. Being generous can actually leave you broke. If you're not generous, if you're generous in a way that's not sensible, it can actually be at the detriment of your pocket. Let me give you some example. Okay, there's something called the black tax. So we've heard of tax, like, you know, every month if you do work, even if you don't work, you're self-employed, a portion of your income will go to the government. This is known as tax. There's something called a black tax. Right, so a black tax essentially is tax that black people pay to their friends, their family, their neighbor, whoever, to bail them out in a situation, you know, because they're trying to be a bit more generous or they don't want to see people going head under. But there's instances where paying black tax is not even you being nice. Well, you are being nice, but it's not because someone is really in need. They appear that they're in need, but really and truly, they are not in need. And I'll give you an example of that in a moment. So with the black tax, what happens is some family members, you know, here or abroad, wherever, friends, colleagues, I don't know, might get onto the day you're being paid, and then they're like, oh, so-and-so is going to be paid on that day. Oh yeah, it is time for us to come and also collect our own portion from your salary, from your income, from your hustling that they haven't worked for. The black tax is really killing blacks. It really is out here just deading people out here, all in the name of generosity. People then respond and give. Right, the example I spoke of, I have a friend and she shared a story with me years and years ago. I think we were in university, and you know, this story involved someone who had family that were living in the Caribbean, and the family got in touch. This friend of mine was living in Europe at the time, like not the UK, like another part of Europe. And the family got in touch, you know, this is not her story, she was sharing someone else's story. And we're like, we are in need, we really need some help, we really need X, Y, and Z. My friend, I believe, had said to this person, please be aware, I just have a feeling maybe don't give them money at this time. You know, you yourself are really hustling, you're working, you know how it is, you know. But lo and behold, the person gave money to their family. And I am not joking. Let's say they gave the family money on Monday. Fast forward a couple of weeks, maximum a month, right? Why were there pictures of this family at, you know, on holiday? Like, I don't know if the holiday was in another country, but they went on holiday. Then my friend said to this person, she was like, I'm very sure that the money you gave them was for a holiday, not for the emergency of which they claimed. And the person was just in absolute denial that cannot be the case. They were in denial because this wasn't like an extended family. This was their family. I'm talking like parents and sibling that had done this to them. But this is sometimes what happens. The generosity that you're giving, you know that you want to save for something, you know you want to pay for a course, and going on that course could impact and better your life, but you take that, you make that sacrifice, and then you give it to family and friends who, you know, somehow coerce you or sweet talk you to give them money, or you feel like you have to do that because you want to be generous. And as a result, some of them squander the money, and you're the biggest loser. Generosity is one of the reasons why black people are broke. I'm just saying. I've already spoke about this already, but family, like, you will not believe the amount of stories I've heard of individuals who have spoken about, you know, how family will ask for this, ask for that. I know of, you know, I've heard of stories whereby individuals will literally have to go in debt to support family. And you might be thinking, oh, you know, maybe the family cannot help them, they can't, the family member or the family, they are in dire need. There are instances that they're in dire need, but another thing is, there are instances where the family is in dire need. They really do need that financial support. But there's other instances, like the one I just gave, that family member, they just want a holiday. they're not really liking how they are feeling. They just want a booster. They want a bit of vitamin D, so they want to go away. Or if they're in a place where there's an abundance of vitamin D, they just want to I don't know, go to a nice restaurant, take themselves out of their current situation and say, you know what, I'm going to enjoy myself. So family is probably one of the top reasons as to why blacks are broke. I don't know where you're from, but I know within the African continent, from Cairo to Cape Town, what I'm about to share is across the continent. So it's very common that, you know, Africans, you know, like to give to their family. And for some Africans, there's an expectation. Some Africans have this expectation if they've got family in the West, that these family members should be afforded their lifestyles. I've heard of instances whereby family in the West will allot money to be given to family on the continent. They give them this money to pay towards school fees, a course, hospital bills, and the money is often used for something else, something that that family member thinks is more of a bigger emergency. And in some instances, you know, it's fair, and in other instances, it is not the case. They squander the money and use it for means that they do not need to use it for. So family members are keeping you broke. Some people watching this can know what I am talking about. If this is your reality, I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this. And I just pray that some way, somehow, that you are not being quenched by your family members. Another way family members can keep you broke, and you see it in some communities, I think this is more so in the Western community, I don't know, the Black Western community, is that you may tell family members that, oh, you're thinking of going into this investment or doing this and that family member, that friend, that colleague, whoever, may now try and dissuade you from investing or developing a certain thing. And a way around this is to move in silence. There's this movement, LOL, whereby people are encouraged to not talk too much about what they're doing. And I think more of this needs to be done. However, there are times in which you want to speak up and share with the right people, because they can advise you. There's even a Bible verse about that, the importance of having many counselors in certain situations. So just bear that in mind. Your family might be keeping you broke. Don't let these people know when you are getting paid. Don't put your nice holidays online. Don't put when you buy a Gucci bag on the internet. Okay, just people be watching, and as they're watching, they're calculating like, oh, she has this, oh, he has that. Another reason why Black people tend to be broke is our start is different from our other counterparts. So if you are a diasporan, like you are part of the Black diaspora, whereby you live in the West or another part of Africa or the Caribbean, wherever you are, like you're a Black person, right? On average, the start is different. So in the UK, if you were to read stats on, you know, Black families, whether it's Caribbeans, Africans or Black other, you will notice that statistically, financially, we are not doing that well. I want to say, however, some of these stats, you have to take them with a pinch of salt. You have to look at who is the one writing this information, who is behind this research, who is funding this research, and do they have a motive, an agenda? You know, but some instances that's not the case. It's not that serious. It can be a case like these stats are very much current and very much correct. When you think about statistics relating to the Black African, for example, in the UK and how they're doing, there are many factors as to why they might not be doing that well financially. One being, people tend to go for lower income jobs. So if you're going for a lower income job, you're going to be paid a lower wage as opposed to going for a medium income or high level paying job. So a way around that is to upskill yourself so you're able to acquire a middle paying job or a high paying job. If you're okay, you're content with a job where it happens to pay a low income, not because you like the fact that it's paid a low income, it just works for you, it's more flexible, whatever. Do your best to save your money. I remember I met this man, absolute inspiration. I met this man was telling me how he's been in the UK for a very long time. The guy is a waiter. The guy's a waiter and also does some care work here and there. And if you know anything about these industries within the UK, they are not very well paid. But this man has multiple properties in Nigeria, and when I heard that, I was just like, this is amazing. He has multiple properties. So he used his low paying income job and would just save diligently and then would invest here and there as he could. It might take a bit longer than having a higher paying job, but even saying that, there's some people that have higher paying jobs, they can only save 50 pence. They cannot say 50 what? 50p. Have mercy. So with our start being different, our start being difficult, it means that we get to certain advancements a bit later on. You know, imagine that, like the average black person is them, then they might even be a single person. They might have to be thinking about their family, their friends, they're this one, they're that one. Then they also maybe are on a low income job. They have to try and hustle and save money. They're just, the start is different. The start is very much different. Even for those who are second, third, first generation in a Western country, the start is different. There's other factors as to why black people are broke, and I'm not going to talk about things such as racism, because let's be honest, unfortunately that racism and things like that are, I don't want to say here to stay, it's a prevalent problem, but there's things that we do within our community that can be rectified. You know, we can go and revise these things to ensure that this association with blackness and brokenness is eradicated. Living beyond your means. I was on YouTube, like, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? And then I ended up on like the Congolese side of YouTube, like the Congolese weddings, like the entrances. And if you know anything about Congolese people, if you know anything about Nigerians, we are those category of people, regardless of their tribe, they are some of the most flamboyant Africans in Africa. Like, they don't play. They don't play when it comes to party, when it comes to weddings, when it comes to birthdays, when it comes to funeral. They don't play. They're gonna go all out. They're gonna go all out. So you're gonna see a lot of glitz, a lot of glams, a lot of spraying of money, a lot of nice outfits, grand venues. Like, this is just like how some of us Africans roll. I know even with the Caribbeans, I think the Caribbeans that are quite like like quite lavish as well are my Jamaicans. I love Jamaicans. Like, they also are like, you know, you've got the flamboyance in the outfits. And if you didn't know, Jamaicans love, this is a massive generalization here, love Clark shoes. I remember when I went to Jamaica, January 2022. One of my best friends is Jamaican. Hey girl, how are you? Went to Jamaica, and then I got on the plane, and then I met this lady. She was also going to Jamaica, and then we just kind of like became friends, like, you know, yeah. And we were in duty free shopping a little bit. Like, what's that? I think I got like a Brandon perfume. She was trying on glasses, and then she was like, "Oh, can I take pictures of her?" So I took some pictures of her. And she made sure I got the Clark them in the picture. Like, she made sure I got the Clark them in the picture. Like, she really wanted these shoes to be in shot. So when people see that, it's like, this one has really got money. So living beyond our means is one of the reasons why some of us black folk are broke. I am very aware that there are other demographics that they go through this, but girls and boys, I'm here to talk about black people, black. Do you know what I mean? Like, living beyond our means, you know, that is a problem. So if on average, you know, unfortunately, income is not coming the way it needs to come, and then you're spending your money on high-end goods, high brands, you're gonna probably be likely broke. You know, it's unfortunate, but I don't know why I'm smiling, because this is like an epidemic within our community. It's but it's not the reality of everyone. I want to say that, like, it is not the reality of everyone. Not all blacks are broke. You know, this is not the reality of everyone, but there are certain things that we have to acknowledge. You know, some of it is not necessarily the community's fault, but some of it we're doing things. You hear me? We're doing things like lavish wedding. You been to a Nigerian wedding, bro? Hey. Another thing is, as a community, we live for the now. So I think because, unfortunately, there are many black communities around the world that things are very much difficult for them, for us, etc. Especially a good example is the continent of Africa. So people are like, if I'm suffering anyway, let me just enjoy myself. You know that voiceover, don't worry about my future, any little change, like that voiceover, that meme or whatever, that audio that went viral on social media. I feel like it's the epitome of many blacks. It's like, do you know what, yeah, any little change is for enjoyment, like, and stuff like I cannot kill myself because, and in some ways it's not good to say, but I do like that about our people. We are constantly not you know, some of us are struggling, like as a collective we're struggling. It's like, I can't do this, I can't do that, families on my neck, can't get job, blah blah blah. Let me enjoy, like allow me to enjoy myself. Like, do you get me? Like, I'm not mad at it. Like, living for the now is not always the best thing. You have to be thinking of your future. But these are some of the reasons why we have this living for the now, buying this, investing here, or not going on this holiday, doing this, as opposed to saving and investing. Do you know what I mean? So it's sad, but think about it. If you're always, you know, like, you've got one life, right? Things are really challenging, but you just have one small change that you can use and buy that thing for yourself. You know, oh, it'll give me temporal gratification. You'll be like, let me just buy this thing. Let me take myself out to that restaurant. And it's not good. I shouldn't be laughing at this. But these are some of the reasons why, as a community, we are broke. Another one, I think this should have been the first thing I said, is a lack of financial literacy. So if we are not aware of how to make money properly and how to save money, then that means you could end up being broke. And a lot of blacks, I've noticed, a lot of black people, we learn the hard way. It's like life has shown you pepe. Then you know, oh, this is how to save money, this is how to invest, this is what not to buy, this is what to buy. Like, unfortunately, a lot of us have to go through some hard times before we're like, ooh, you know, there's not necessarily enough cancel on financial literacy, how to save, how to do this. And for me, I know it depends on your circle, who you surround yourself with, but there's not enough, in my opinion, people educating the community and, you know, on how to achieve this, how to achieve that. Yes, there's more online with YouTube, there's more content, you know, centered around making money, etc. But there is not enough. And another reason why, as a community, we may be broke, it can be overwhelming. Like, when you think about, you sit back, you look like, rah, I haven't done much, or rah, I'm in a financial crisis. And just getting that confidence to start, it can just be, there's so many other things going on in somebody's mind. It can be difficult to start. It's not that they don't want to start, it's not that we don't want to start, but even knowing how to start is a problem in itself. And it leaves somebody broke. Another one is, and I think I'm gonna finish here, keeping up with the Joneses. But because I am Nigerian, I'm gonna say keeping up with the Jadesolas, or if, let me see if another one will be keeping up with the Jameses, keeping up with the Jamila Kwans. I don't know, like, we just be trying to keep up with the Joneses. I didn't know until, like, I started to have, you know, more Caribbean friends. There's something called island mentality. Oh my days. And there's various things that come into island mentality. One thing is that if your neighbor has bought like a brand new car, you too want that brand new car. Yeah. If your neighbor has painted the house white, put new grills, aka, like, I think in Nigeria we call it burglary, on their little house, you too want a new house with a white house with brand new grills, and maybe even want a white picket fence because you want to outdo your neighbor. I was told recently in Nigeria, well, fairly recently, there is a generator. You know, unfortunately, the light situation in Nigeria is just dire, it's just a mess. So people tend to use generators as a means to get connected to have electricity, essentially, to have light. And you can buy different categories of generators. So there's a different sizes, different brands, etc. There is a generator called I Passed My Neighbor. Oh my days. Like, it's essentially, how can I even, it means essentially I'm doing better than my neighbor. So if you have this gen, it's showing people like, I'm doing better than you kind of thing. You just think, oh my days, I don't even know I put this smile on my face. This is not a funny issue, Rach. Like, But guys, please leave your comments down below and let's keep this conversation started. Please send this to other people. What did you think about some of the stuff I've said? Can you relate? Have you experienced these things? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you share this video with at least one friend. Have a good day. Ray.